Hey guys, this is my first deck builders video. I started this channel because I wanted to showcase some decks that I and my friends have been building. I feel like most people who do any kind of research on Magic right now know what decks are out there that are doing really well at Pro Tours and big tournaments, and what the pros are doing and what's really good in the format right now. The big stuff, everybody knows that Cobblade is dominant, everybody knows that Valakut's powerful, everybody, all the regular stuff. Um, so I wanted to kind of start showing off some decks that I think are obviously no one has heard of and are actually competitive, and don't cost $600. Um, so I wanted to start off with this red-black build I've come up with. It's kind of a red-black aggro control thing. I don't know exactly what to call it, but the main engines of the deck are, Koth is one of your main win conditions. Have a playset of those, and you got Dark Tutelage, playset of those. It also runs 4 Kiln Fiends, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. This is the only deck I think that makes them work consistently. Let's see, obviously we're running red, so we got a playset of lightning bolts here. Boom. We've got 3 burst lightnings. We have 3 volt charge. 4 goblin guides. We've got 4 copies of Inquisition. We've got 3 copies of Despise. Everybody can read that. Not everybody knows this yet. Most people should. 3 Go for the Throats. 3 copies of Shrine of Burning Rage. I'll hold that up so anybody who doesn't know that can read it. And we've got 21 lands. The mana base is non-basics. We've got 3 Blackleaf Cliffs. It might go up to 4, but that's what it is right now. 3 Lava Claws. 2 Dragon Skull Summits. We've got 11 mountains and 2 swamps. Okay, so it seems a little weird. The way this deck really works is almost everything can kill them. Shrine of Burning Rage is one that is a little bit overlooked right now, although we haven't had much time for people to really start utilizing it. It's really, really powerful. I find it dealing the last 10 points of damage in a game pretty regularly. I'll get them down halfway and it just finishes them. Happens pretty consistently, especially when you get it out right on turn 2. That thing is absolutely ridiculous, especially considering that it goes up a counter every time you play a red spell and at your upkeep, and this deck has a lot of red instants, and it's got Volt Charge, which on its own takes it up 2 counters. So it's really powerful, especially in this deck. Probably more so in mono red, but it's ridiculous. Dark Tutelage works really well in this deck. Part of the reason I feel like aggro, where aggro has problems is when you run out of cards in your hand. Most people kind of are familiar with that feeling who have played aggro, where you get a great start and you get them down to 10 really fast, and you just run out of gas, and if you don't have good draws, it sometimes just ends against a good control deck or whatever, and it's a rough feeling. And Dark Tutelage totally fixes that, and it doesn't do that much damage to you because the most expensive card in here is Koth. There's 4 of those, and everything else costs. Dark Tutelage costs 3. Everything else costs 1 or 2. So you're taking very little damage, and if you get a land, you're not taking anything. It's really, really powerful, and drawing 2 cards a turn is ridiculous. So the main win conditions are Koth, Shrine of Burning Rage deals a ton of damage, and I want to talk about Kiln Fiend. Kiln Fiend, hold him up again, some people aren't super familiar with this guy, is insane in this deck. He's actually ridiculous. People have tried to use him. I know a number of people who have tried to use him and it hasn't worked out. I've tried him in other decks that haven't worked that well, and it's for a number of reasons, but it's all boils down to the fact that it was just inconsistent. But between the fact that this is playing 3 Despise, 4 Inquisitions, 3 Go for the Throats, 4 Lightning Bolts, 3 Burst Lightning, 3 Volt Charge, that's a lot of instants and sorceries right there. So most of the time you're always going to have something to use with him. And Dark Tutelage continuously kind of fuels the fire. And that's really what makes Kiln Fiend work. You need to have a lot of instants and sorceries that on their own are helping you in the game, and you're drawing a lot of cards, and it's like you're getting more value out of Kiln Fiend and your instants and sorceries that are already good. And he deals a lot, and it makes him deal a lot of damage on top of already playing good cards. It's really, really powerful. The other thing about him is that not only do your good instants and sorceries make him good, but in the late game, where having hand disruption in your deck, main deck, sucks normally, makes Kiln Fiend work. So your Inquisitions and your Despise don't just blank in the late game, they still do something. So the fact that there's that kind of synergy really helps the deck. So that's really, really cool, and it's helped me win a lot of games. Goblin Guide is another, I don't really need to talk about that. Goblin Guide's great. If you're playing red and you're playing aggro, he's obviously a 4 of. Inquisition and Despise are part of the reason I wanted to play black in this deck. They're really, really, really good. It's pretty obvious. Everybody knows Inquisition is good, but the fact that it also works so well with Kiln Fiend just makes it even better, and that's what good decks are about. It's finding good cards and making them better. So, Go for the Throat. People have been talking about this recently, about whether or not it's good enough to main deck, just because of all the artifact creatures running around. I think because it's black-red, it is worth it. Like, this card is so good because you have so much burn that most of the artifact creatures you're worrying about in the format now can be killed by burn. So, it's awesome. It's awesome. Anything that they have that's not an artifact then does not stand a chance, which is great. So that's pretty much the deck, and then I guess the only thing I didn't talk about was the burn, which is pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like, I mean, everybody knows that red is powerful, and it can be really tough to play against when it works and when you've got a competent player running it, but the fact that it works so well with Kiln Fiend, it kills planeswalkers, it kills creatures, it kills your life total, and it couples with Shrine of Burning Rage, and it doesn't hurt you very much when you draw it off Dark Tutelage, makes it ridiculous. Like, these cards it's just like value, 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 and so much flexibility. And that's what I think you really need to be competitive, which is why I feel like playing red right now is a really good idea. Yeah, so there's that. Volt Charge I didn't really talk about, but it's also pretty self-explanatory. Volt Charge, anybody doesn't know some of this new Phyrexia stuff yet, is ridiculous. It's really, really good. So you have Koth out in a Shrine, best case scenario. Kill a creature, take Koth up to 5 counters, put an extra counter on 2, well actually put 2 counters on Shrine of Burning Rage, bomb Koth, and just kill them. It's ridiculous. But even if it's not best case scenario, it still does a lot, and it's really powerful. So yeah, so that's the deck. Let me know what you think. So far, I've already tested it against Callblade and Rug and the new Rock, the standard Rock build, and it's done well against all of those decks. It also does pretty well against Tezzeret. So that's the deck. Let me know what you think. Any comments or suggestions would be welcome. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.